Hey people, I just feel like talking. It's Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Both my parents are in my thoughts and my heart daily. I lost my mom back in 86 or 87. I lost my dad in 80. Yes, I was very close to my mom. I had an interesting relationship with my dad. I loved him, but it was conflicted. My mom, we were very close. Both my parents were musicians. My mom was one of the first black women to go to a music conservatory. I forget which one. See, I know one of my parents went to Oberlin. Both of them went to college for the arts, but I get it. I forget. My mom was a singer, and she was an aspiring singer when she met my dad. The famous singer Marian Anderson. Look up her history. My mom apparently got to perform a duet or something with her. Also, when my mom was doing gospel music, apparently one of the gospel groups that she was with made a 78, but I don't know the name of the group or have any way of tracking it down or if it would even exist anymore. But I want to give credit to both my parents, but definitely want to give credit to my mom for instilling and encouraging a sense of empathy in me and awareness and appreciation of life and others, people. My mom was a good person. And it's unfortunate the health things that happened to her, and she went deaf, and had head noises. She only got to hear my voice once. We went to some doctor or some kind of clinic or back in the early 60s where they hooked her up to this big machine, and I spoke into a microphone and she had these headphones on. That's the only time that I know of that she heard my voice. Interestingly, my mom had mental health issues, but when she lost her hearing, many people in the neighborhood or in the hood or associated with my family thought my mom was fooling and that she was doing it for attention. Well, being her child and living with that, I had plenty of opportunities to test it out and find out for myself. My mom was deaf. So consequently, probably for the first 30, 40 years of my life, I lived with this neurotic fear that I was going to go deaf. Thankfully, I can still hear. My tinnitus lately, like I said, has been bothersome, more so than before, but I can still hear. So, happy Mother's Day. As far as I know, all humans have a mother. Notice what I said, as far as I know, all humans. I don't know what all species is running around on this planet calling itself human, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not all human. Sure wouldn't be surprised at all. I was listening to Seal, and that's one of the absolute joys of having this big clunky ass collection of music is that I can dig into it when things rise to the surface. I can go there and just play it. Future Love Paradise was a song on here that kept coming into my head. So I played that a few times. But this whole album. And then I got caught up with Seal, watching some live footage of him in concert recently. Very cool. Very cool. So, I have some records to show because yesterday I thought about it for half a second and then I said to myself, what is one of my simple pleasures in life? And it is shopping for records. And so I did that yesterday. But I'll show you what else I played yesterday. Francois Hardy, Alone. Something I just really like this and the mood that it can put me in. I pay attention to the lyrics. And it's the musical arrangements. And I just like where my head goes when this music is happening. It's not so much a nostalgia trip, maybe it is, but it's like it's a place. It's a mental place that still exists for all of us. All of us, we have mental places that exist for us. Memories, conjure them up, stuff like that. Nathaniel Mellors, I know you watch, and I received your copy of your new album yesterday, The World in Air Quotes. And I'm honored, Nathaniel, that you even bother to send your music to me. As I looked at your one sheet, which is actually, geez, you have quite a background. And this is super professional. People know about you. You seem to have the business end of this down, which I still am, trying to deal with, but not really wanting to. I just want to make music and have people hear it. But we have to do the business. It looks like you're doing business well. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I know it's for business to have me review it. But I'm honored that you and your band, The God in Hackney, which happens to be quite good, care about my opinion. You don't have to send this record to me. And look, beautiful shade of blue. Beautiful. I love records. This right out of the gate hits me real good. It's not prog rock, but it's in that area. The way it hits me like it starts off and it feels almost like, not like a Peter Gabriel record, but that type of aesthetic. It's like, okay, here we go. These guys are gonna do something with this music and these words. You're not gonna waste our time. The God in Hackney. Wow. I dare say the band is ready for a bigger reception. It would be nice to see a bit of a breakthrough for God in Hackney in the press. This is really good. Yeah, I've listened to the whole thing. When it came in yesterday, I just listened to it right away, and I've listened to side one twice now. Can't be specific except what I said, the aesthetic. These guys are in it for real. The way they describe their parts, they're descriptive and imaginative and helpful in, if you look at it while you're listening, it can indeed kind of flavor your listening experience. This is really good. Thank you for sending this. I mean, and also thank you. I'm blown away. You bought my CD. You bought The Muse. Thank you, Nathaniel. But people, the music is what I'm pointing you at here. The God in Hackney. This is their third album. Now, when I got their first one, I didn't get it, and I'm sorry I didn't keep it. I traded it in. I kept the second one, which came in much clearer. I imagine now if I go back and listen to the first one, which I regret selling now, that I'd probably get it. I didn't back then. This is real good. So that came in the mail. That's not one I bought. I went down to Homer's and to Grapefruit, and both places I purchased. So let me show you what I got. So I went to Homer's first. I had seen they'd gotten in a used album that I was interested in. Death Grips. I have all their records, including Ex-Military. It's a bootleg, but I've got a nice copy. And this is the one, No Love Deep Web, where they had to censor the cover. And interestingly enough, the angst of this band, there you go, Zach's penis for the cover, that impressed me that they just said, we're going to do exactly what we want. We're going to put a dick on the cover. We don't care. That impressed me. But it also goes along with the overall approach to this music, which is really in your face. It seems cathartic. They say things that are seemingly nonsensical, but I relate to them personally. I do. I relate to a lot of things that they say. So when I saw this come in used with the censored cover, I went down there thinking, I didn't call ahead and say, hold it for me, because usually when I think to do that, I'm already too late. So I said, well, I just need to go out, get some sunshine, and celebrate. It is a way of celebrating, spending money. You all do it. We all do it, okay? So I was out milling around, and it was there. So I was happy. But the other record that I went down to get, which is a new release, because I'd forgotten to get it the week it came out, I figured it would be there, is the new Orb Prism. The Orb. I like the Orb. I love that spacey, electronic, groove, chill out stuff that they do. And Fred asked me when I showed it, Fred Church asked me if it was like the good old Orb, and my response was, no, it's the Orb. This is the an Indie Store Day exclusive. Sorry to say that it's a noisy pressing, though. Maybe I just got a noisy cut, a noisy platter. But it is true that some processes of making colored vinyl, unfortunately, records are noisy, but not always. And I don't know what the secret ingredients are or the process that makes a difference. But I do not assume that all colored vinyl records are going to be noisy. I do not assume that all clear vinyl records are going to be tinny. There are some that fit that, but not all. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a noisy pressing. But my first impression, I've only listened to one of the two albums, is, oh, this is lovely. And they do the spacey swirling thing, and then they finally drop down into a nice, big, fat, boomy beat. I like the way that the Orb mixes their beat. It's just big and fat and juicy. Literally juicy. I like it quite a bit. What else did I get? So those are the two things I got from Homer's. I'm still not into going to the Vinyl Cup. I haven't been to the Vinyl Cup store in over a year. Last time I was there, just left a bad taste in my mouth. It's probably not nice for them that I'm saying this, but it don't matter. They're getting their business. I'm not taking business from them. I'm probably overdue for a visit. So, just saying that, because when I was downtown, I could have gone there. But I knew I would spend enough between Homer's and Grapefruit, where it's like, okay, put the brakes on. And it was like, at Grapefruit, I had to put the brakes on. That store is so fantastic. They have so much stuff that I like there. And their used section was hot. So mainly what I bought was used. Starting with this, the Locust. I like the Locust. I think some of you people who watch me knew the guy that died from the band. Is it Justin Pearson? Was that his name? I never got to see these guys or meet them, but several people I know have told me that they knew him. This was the reissue on Green Marble. Just played a little bit of this because this stuff is just bam, smacks you in the face. So when I'm in the mood for it, it's better. But I like the Locust, and I have this is my third or fourth record of them by them. like melt banana and anal cunt. When I'm in the mindset, this stuff just hits the spot. I can never understand the words. It's probably a good thing. So I got that. Picked up 2 Japanese jazz imports. The Genius of Bud Powell. This is a Japanese repress from about 1968. No obi, no big deal. You know, I learned a long time ago that for the Japanese, the obi is trash. It's not. We're the ones in America and overseas who fetishize the obi. For them, it was just a strip of information for the consumer to be discarded. And we went and fetishized it. And, oh, it's got to have the obi. No, it doesn't. But at the same time, as a collector, if it has the obi, I like it. I do. But this early Bud Powell mono recording, I just love the Japanese standard of quality. The vinyl and just everything. The inserts, everything. So I got this one, and there was another one that I picked up. Albert, that has the obi. Albert Eiler. The first recordings. Stuff that he recorded in Europe. Stockholm, Sweden, to be precise. 1962. This sounds early. This sounds like early stage Albert Eiler, where it takes him a while to find his footing, to my ears, on each of these tracks. To me, it literally sounds like, for the most part, he's struggling until he breaks through. Rollins tune. He does Sonny Rollins tune in here, and that one stands out where it's like, man, he is really working to try to make sense of Rollins' head. You know, Sonny Rollins is badass. But when he finally gets his bearings and starts to soar, it's the early where Albert Eiler just takes off and just goes to another universe. So that was real cool to get that. And the new, it's not a new album, but it was new in the store. The new thing I got was Flower Traveling Band's first album, Anywhere. Finally, I have this. This is one of those albums. Now, Flower Traveling Band is a rock band. I'm looking here to see, because it's one of those bands that, you know, it's kind of like I needed to know about them. You want to know about them. Some of their records are like historically important. This is not an original, because I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars just to have it, but I have it. Flower Traveling Band Satori. This is, if you're going to get one of them, you want to get this one. This is like, whoa. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is really intense as well. But it's like, the first thing they do is a blues, which, again, okay, you play the blues. But then they do Black Sabbath, the song Black Sabbath. And it's like, whoa, pretty damn cool. The singer who, Joe Yamanaka, I think he was mixed race. Yeah, I like to point those things out. Always will. It's part of who I am. Pretty cool. His voice is really strong and powerful. So this is a cool listen, but that cover, this is a cover. This is just a fantastic cover. These cats, butt-ass naked, plowing down the highway on their motorbikes. And this is back in 1969, 1970. So that's cutting edge, you know what I'm saying? That's hippie, and then this is a beautiful, look at that. And it's a good plate. This is an example where it's colored vinyl, dead quiet, beautiful pressing, really nice cut. So, colored vinyl is not the anathema. It's not. It has to do with the entire process, how it's done. So these were my pickups yesterday. I also have Makeup by Flower Traveling Band. And this is another one where the original is very collectible because this is a fake of the original. It came out in literally a leather bag. The originals, this is a leather bag that the album is in. That's one I remember seeing in Japan when I was there in '94. It was like I had never seen anything like that. And I remember seeing that in one of the stores. It was even back then in '94, over in Japan, they wanted like, it would have been the equivalent of $300 American. So let me close out because it's already been 20 minutes. Tomorrow, I have a conversation with John Weathers. Pugwash Weathers, best known for being the drummer for Gentle Giant, but he was also in Grease Band, Bluebell Wood. I don't have it. It's a prog collectible. He's on that. Neutrons. I have one of the Eyes of Blue albums. I'm sorry I got rid of Crossroads of Time. Sometimes we have stuff before we realize what we have. But that's tomorrow. Looking forward to talking to John. The premise of it is to discuss the Steven Wilson remix of Interview, but there's much more to talk about. Okay, family. Hey, the Zoom yesterday was awesome. Stephanie and Karim, if you see this. It was just a good conversation. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, I don't mind telling you that over the weekend, and once again, the amount of CDs that I had apportioned on Bandcamp sold out. So I put up literally the last 25 that I can spare on there for sale. This is all I have left. Okay? And I must tell you that I got a little skittish about the overseas deal, so I only sent them 10 CDs, not 20, because I don't know what to expect. And I just thought to myself, if I just didn't want, I ended up just deciding I don't want to send that much there. Kind of at this point out of my control. I just still don't know how this will work. I have a forward with The World Is Burning CD with the label that put it out here in America. But that's simple because it's still American dollars. This has to do with international. So there's only going to be 10 available, not 20. This baby is limited, and I tell you what, it just flies out of my hands. I just can't hold on to it, and I like that. And like I said, it's the follow-up to it is already in the offing. It's basically started already. So get it while you can. And I'm enjoying this. The music speaks for itself. I said it yesterday. I had a couple gaps where I missed sending out a CD. Another one where I sent the wrong CD, so that person ends up with two of my releases. Okay, folks. Have a good day. Talk to me.